The winter had descended upon Pine Ridge, and the chill was unrelenting. The small town was nestled deep in the heart of the northern wilderness, surrounded by snow-covered mountains and icy lakes. For the residents, winter meant hibernation, but for 4 adventurous friends, it meant a camping trip they would never forget. Lucas, Sarah, Ethan, and Mia had been friends since childhood, bound together by a shared love of the outdoors. Each year, they embarked on a camping adventure, but this time, they decided to test their mettle by camping on the frozen Lake Serenity. The lake was known for its tranquility and breathtaking beauty during the summer months, but in the winter, it transformed into an ice-covered wonderland. The friends, armed with camping gear and a sense of youthful invincibility, ventured into the wilderness as a heavy snowfall began to blanket the landscape. Setting up camp on the frozen lake, they marveled at the eerie beauty of the snow-covered pines and the starry night sky. The ice beneath their feet was solid and unyielding, and they thought nothing of it. The crackling campfire cast long shadows across the icy expanse as they roasted marshmallows and shared stories. As the night grew darker and the temperature dropped, they retired to their tents. Wrapped in their warm sleeping bags, they listened to the gentle creaking of the ice beneath them. The sound was soothing at first, like a lullaby from the depths of the frozen lake. But as the hours passed, the creaking grew more persistent, evolving into an eerie, mournful moan that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the lake. It echoed through the night, sending shivers down their spines. Ethan, the bravest of the group, unzipped his tent and ventured outside, his flashlight cutting through the frigid air. He walked toward the center of the lake, where the moans seemed the loudest. As he approached, the ice beneath him groaned and shifted. Mia called out to him, a note of worry in her voice, but he continued on, mesmerized by the strange phenomenon. Suddenly, the ice gave way beneath him, and he plunged into the freezing water with a gasp. His friends rushed to his aid, pulling him from the icy depths and wrapping him in blankets. They could see the fear in his eyes, and his teeth chattered uncontrollably. It was a close call, and they realized that they needed to pack up and return to safety. As they disassembled their camp, the moans from the lake grew louder and more desperate. It was as if the frozen waters were pleading with them to leave. The friends couldn't ignore the eerie feeling that had settled in the pit of their stomachs. As they made their way back to the shore, the ice continued to shift and groan, and they quickened their pace. Just as they reached the safety of solid ground, there was an ear-splitting crack, and the ice beneath their campsite shattered into a spiderweb of fractures. The friends watched in horror as their camp, along with their supplies, disappeared into the freezing water. They had narrowly escaped a disaster that could have claimed their lives. Exhausted and shaken, they trudged back to Pine Ridge, vowing never to camp on Lake Serenity again. The beauty of the frozen lake had concealed the treacherous nature of the ice beneath, and they had learned a chilling lesson about the unpredictability of the wilderness. Years later, as they sat around a campfire, they shared their harrowing experience with new friends, a cautionary tale of adventure and survival. The legend of the frozen lake and the moans that beckoned from its depths continued to haunt Pine Ridge, a reminder of the untamed wilderness that surrounded the town. A year had passed since the harrowing camping trip on Lake Serenity, an experience that left Lucas, Sarah, Ethan, and Mia with a deep-seated fear of the frozen wilderness. The incident had become a chilling legend in Pine Ridge, a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the northern wilderness. But the friends were not about to let one traumatic experience end their love for the great outdoors. With time, their trepidation had given way to a steely determination to face their fears. They yearned to reclaim their sense of adventure and explore the frozen beauty of Lake Serenity once more. Each of them had a personal reason to return to the place that had haunted their dreams. Lucas, the group's anchor, wanted to prove to himself and his friends that the incident had not broken their spirit. Sarah, always the adventurer, longed to conquer her fear of the lake. Ethan felt a deep sense of guilt for venturing onto the ice alone and wished to redeem himself. Mia, with her unwavering support for her friends, couldn't bear to see them haunted by the memories. On a crisp winter morning, with the frozen lake stretching before them, they decided to embark on their second expedition. Armed with lessons learned from their previous trip, they carried advanced safety gear and meticulously checked the ice's thickness. they felt cautiously optimistic. The weather was clear and still, a far cry from the treacherous conditions of their first trip. The sun bathed the frozen expanse in a gentle, golden light, casting dancing reflections on the icy surface. The friends moved with caution, their feet crunching in the snow as they set up camp once more. This time, there was no eerie moaning from the lake, no ominous whispers in the night. They took this as a positive sign, a change from the haunting experience they had endured before. As the day turned to night, they gathered around their campfire, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories of their lives over the past year. The atmosphere was markedly different from their previous visit, and laughter filled the air. They were determined to make new memories on Lake Serenity. The night was clear, and the stars shimmered in the sky like diamonds. The friends retired to their tents with a sense of security that had been absent on their first trip. As they slept, Lucas awoke to an unusual sound. It was a soft, mournful hum that seemed to resonate from beneath the ice. The memory of their previous experience flashed before him, and he immediately woke the others. Their faces mirrored his anxiety as they listened to the strange sound. Ethan, ever the brave one, decided to investigate. He stepped outside and walked towards the center of the lake, the sound growing louder with each step. The ice beneath him was solid, and he felt confident that they were in no immediate danger. Mia, Sarah, and Lucas watched from their tents, their hearts pounding with trepidation. Ethan reached the spot where the sound was the strongest, his flashlight revealing a peculiar sight. Beneath the ice, illuminated by the light, were intricate patterns and symbols etched into the frozen surface. The symbols seemed to shift and change, forming a sequence of images. They were mystified, unable to decipher the meaning of the symbols and the eerie hum that accompanied them. It was as if the lake itself was trying to communicate with them. Lucas reached for a notepad and began sketching the symbols. They felt a strange connection to the frozen lake, a sense of being part of a larger, mystical tapestry. The strange encounter continued for hours, the symbols shifting and rearranging. It was only at dawn that the symbols ceased their dance. The friends, weary yet fascinated, retreated to their tents, their minds abuzz with questions and wonder. When they awoke, the ice was still and the symbols had disappeared, as if the night's encounter had never occurred. The friends packed their gear and, with a sense of reverence, made their way back to Pine Ridge. As they shared their remarkable experience with the townspeople, the legend of Lake Serenity took on a new dimension. The lake was no longer just a place of treacherous ice, but a mysterious canvas where nature and the supernatural intertwined. The friends had faced their fear and encountered something beyond their understanding. They knew that Lake Serenity would always hold secrets, and they had come to respect and revere the unpredictable beauty of the northern wilderness. Their second trip had transformed their dread into a profound sense of wonder and respect for the untamed world around them.
Don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content.